guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. If you couldn't tell by the title, there is a lot of stuff going on in today's video, so we're gonna skip any long intros and kind of just hop into it. This video is gonna kind of be broken down into 3 different parts. So we're gonna do like my general review of all the products that I got for my iPad, like my pen and the case and all of that. And then we will do a what's on my iPad and what apps I have. And then at the very end of this video, we're gonna kind of go over how I use my iPad to plan, what my note-taking style is, and how I plan on using my iPad to take notes in college. So I'm gonna quit my rambling and we are just gonna kind of get started. Alright, starting with the biggest product, the focal point of this video itself is my little iPad Air 5th Gen. I got it in the color Starlight and I got it on Amazon Prime Day. I have been wanting an iPad for so long. Like, I've literally been wanting one since like freshman year of high school, so it's been a long time coming and I'm so happy that I finally have it. I feel like obviously if I didn't love my iPad I wouldn't have it and I wouldn't be making this video, and the review part of this video is more so, if I can get it out of the case, to talk about my Apple Pencil. Well, my knockoff Apple Pencil, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because y'all, Apple pencils are expensive. So I decided to get a knockoff one, just go the cheaper route, which I don't mind. For the most part, I would say I'm very happy with this pencil. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I'll link it in the description. I will actually remember this time. I'll link it in the description. I got it off Amazon for like $25, I want to say, and like the regular 2nd gen Apple Pencil is like $90. So I like it. I think it works just fine. It does attach to the side of my iPad, so it is magnetic, but it doesn't charge, so I do have to charge it separately. But I like that it has these 3 little dots that tell me how much battery it has, and the battery life on this pencil is pretty good, I would say. It also came with a bunch of extra tips, which I found really helpful. I think it writes fine. Like, it functions like a normal Apple Pencil. It works with my iPad, so I think it's fine. The only thing that I have discovered that I'm not the biggest fan of is the pressure sensitivity on this pen is basically non-existent. So I have to do fake calligraphy if I want to do calligraphy on my notes, which is the only like hiccup about it. So in the future I might get an actual Apple Pencil because I do enjoy calligraphy and hand lettering, and that is something that the pressure sensitivity feature would be great for. Only time I can get different thickness is not even if I press hard. You have to like move the pen really fast. So that's the only downside to this pen, I would say, but especially if you don't care about hand lettering and calligraphy and you just need to be able to write and do basic stuff, so much better than a normal Apple Pencil. And again, for $25 instead of $90, I'm not complaining. I think this works just fine. I'm going to use it just fine for now. Maybe one day in the future I will invest in a proper Apple Pencil, but I think for now she does the job. She's fine. I like it. The last product I've gotten for my iPad so far is my case. This was like literally $10 on Amazon. Not much to say about it. I like it. It has a little spot to hold my pencil. I like the trifold. I specifically wanted a case with a flap to protect my iPad because I'm going to be taking it to and from class, yada yada yada. It has a little magnetic trifold, so I can prop it up this way or this way, which I like. The only product that I don't have for my iPad yet that I really want is a paper-like screen protector. And if you don't know what a paper-like screen protector is, it's just a screen protector that feels like paper. So for someone that wants to take notes on an iPad, it just makes it feel a lot better and write a lot smoother. So that's for the next paycheck. That is enough rambling about my iPad and more specifically about my little knockoff Apple Pencil. And with that, we are going to get straight into the what's on my iPad portion of the video. I guess starting with the case itself, I did decorate my case. I wanted it to be cute, so I have a bunch of stickers on it. These 3 are from Brandy Melville. They're just like the free stickers they have in the store. And then these 2 are from random sticker packs at Five Below. We have them for work. We put stickers on our students' grading sheets. So I took a couple for myself. Sorry to my kids. Moving on to the actual what's on my iPad, I will put the screen up here. My lock screen is just a pink aura off of Pinterest. If you just search up pink aura, I think this is like one of the first one that pops up. And I don't have any widgets or anything on my home screen. And I only have 2 pages on my iPad. I don't like having like a lot of pages. On the first page I have 3 widgets. I have this big square widget that is attached to my Pinterest board. This is attached to my Hannah's Aesthetic Pinterest board. So every hour it just circulates a new picture. And if you want to know how to add that yourself when you add a widget, so let's hold it down. We'll do edit home screen. And then when you want to add a widget, you'll just scroll down all the way to your Pinterest app. Where is it? to your Pinterest app, and then when you click on it, it will say edit this widget and choose a board to get started. So you would hit add widget, and then when you click on it, there's a bunch of different boards you can choose from, and it's literally that simple. So it rotates every single hour. If you guys want to see in depth in my Pinterest boards and what all my Pinterest board looks like and what they have, I have a separate video going in depth into all my Pinterest boards, so that'll be linked somewhere. Is the eye in this corner? I want to say it's in this corner. Alright, and then I have a calendar widget. I made it all cute and pink to match the background. Also, happy August 1st. It is Taylor Swift month, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Taylor Swift, for making the beautiful month of August. Then I have a small stack that literally only has 2 tabs on it. So I have my Libby tab. I'll get into what Libby is in a second because it's one of the apps on here. And then I have my Spotify tab, which again, we'll get into all the apps, which I'm sure you guys know what Spotify is. Starting with all the apps on this screen, my first page on my iPad, I wanted to dedicate to like productivity and like school stuff because that's what the point of this iPad is, that's what it's for. So the first app I have is Notion. If you guys have watched like any of my other vlogs or any of my other videos, you know how much I absolutely love Notion. I plan my entire life on here. Like I do everything on Notion. I plan my day, I plan my weeks, I track my sleep. Notion, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, you guys should sponsor me because I love you. I'm gonna get water, BRB. Okay, moving on. The next app that I have on my iPad is Quizlet. Again, I don't think I need to explain Quizlet to you guys, especially if you're watching this because you want to use it for school. I love Quizlet. Quizlet is just like online flashcards and like a study tool if you don't know what it is. I also have Quizlet Plus, which is the best $35 I've ever spent in my life. Quizlet Plus allows you to add pictures to your flashcards. It gives you back like the test and the quiz features that regular Quizlet doesn't have anymore. And it's like a one-time fee of $35 for like an entire year. If you are a student and you need like memory-based learning and stuff like that, spend the $35. Quizlet Plus is a godsend. And then I have Libby, which is the app that you saw on my stack earlier. So, ooh, my new book is ready to borrow. But Libby is just an online library app that you can have on your phone. I have it on my phone too. And you just connect your library card and you can rent ebooks and audiobooks and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a big reader and you are poor because books are expensive, so if you're a big reader and you're poor like me or you just don't want to spend money on books, Libby is a great way to go. Obviously you have to wait like with a normal library book. Like I think I have a couple books that I literally waited like 2 months for, but there's so many books on here all the time and I love having Libby on my iPad because I don't have a Kindle. So it's just everything's so much bigger on the iPad. It's so much easier to read than on my phone. And then continuing on with the reading apps, I have GoodNotes. GoodNotes is what I use to track what books I've read, what books I want to read, and then I'll like rate my books. I don't write reviews a lot, but I'll rate my books and then I'll stay updated on my reading goals. I am 7 books behind right now. Whoopsie daisies. We will catch up on that. But this is also where I go back and I will look at all my books before I do any of my reading wrap-ups just to see like what I rated it and kind of refresh my mind. Next up we have Flora, and Flora is like a timer app. I use Flora the most on my phone. Basically with Flora you plant fake little trees and as soon as you start the timer your seed for your tree starts growing. So if you exit out of the app, so if you try to go on Instagram or anything like that, it'll give you like 5 seconds to go back on Flora or your tree dies. And something about killing this fake little tree is so motivating. But if that's not enough for you, you can also set a price. So say I set it for $5 and if you exit out of the timer, not only do you kill the tree, the app takes $5 from you. So it's, if you really need that motivation, I think it works out pretty well. Next up we have Google. I just prefer Google to Safari, so that's why I have it. And then I have Eventbrite, which low-key, I don't really know what this is. I just needed to download it for school. I think it just gives you reminders of when, like, events are and stuff. Because I had, like, a Zoom meeting I had to sign up for school, and it made me download the app to get the Zoom link. Whoa. Guys, my voice is so dead. I was gonna vlog the Eras tour, but I was just very caught up in living in the moment. But it was the best night of my life, and my voice has not recovered since. Then I have Canvas, which is another school app. It's where like my professors post assignments and PowerPoints and yada yada yada. Very boring school stuff. Next up we have Google Calendar. I am a Google Calendar girly all the way. Google Calendar is superior to Apple Calendar and I will die on that hill. I just think you can customize things so much more on Google Calendar. It is my favorite thing ever. And then we have GoodNotes. GoodNotes is the app that I use to take my notes and do also digital plan. We will get into more of how I use GoodNotes at the end of this video, so we're gonna kind of just breeze past GoodNotes right now. Next up we have Clock. I don't need to explain what Clock is to you guys. And then we have one more folder, just called Writing and Shit. I am sure that this folder is going to grow as school starts because I will be downloading all of the like Google apps and stuff. Again, Google apps superior to the Apple apps in my personal opinion. So I have Docs and Drive right now. I probably need to download like Sheets and all that stuff. And then I have Grammarly and Pages. I think Pages is like the default Apple one, so it's in here. And then Grammarly Premium, again, best amount of money you will ever spend in your life. I feel like all of my essays and just anything that I write now just feels so much more professional and cohesive. I very much would recommend Grammarly Premium, especially if you have like any like writing major, any kind of like English or linguistics or like writing major. Like I'm a communications major. I think Grammarly Premium is gonna save my life. Alright, and then before we go on to the next page, at the very bottom I have my little like home bar thingy. The one thing about the iPad that I didn't know is you can't really customize your like little home bar that much. It just pops up with all the apps that you've been using. I don't mind, I just didn't know that was a thing. Alright, but moving on to the second and final page of my iPad, I have one widget. This is just a picture widget, and it's a quote that says romanticize your life, because I love romanticizing things. I think romanticizing everything you can just makes life so much more fun, because like why would you not want to romanticize? Anyways, this is more of my like fun stuff page, like not actual school, actual productive stuff. So I have Instagram. My Instagram is at Hannah_McEnroy if you guys want to follow me. I have Pinterest, same username. Again, I have that Pinterest video if you want to watch it. And then we have TikTok and Lemonade. My TikTok and Lemonade usernames are the same. If you guys don't know what Lemonade is, it's literally like if Pinterest, Instagram, and TikTok had a baby. Then I have Discord, which I never really use, but all my friends are very big Discord users, so I have it because we have a couple of Discord group chats, but I never open it. I'm sorry, guys. Then we have Zoom, very self-explanatory, need it for school. I should probably make like a communications folder and stick it in there. Alright, and then we have photo and video. So we have the Photos app, which is just full of all my Eras Tour videos that I keep watching because I miss the concert so much. And then we have YouTube Studio, which is what I use to check all of my analytics and stuff, which by the way, we just hit 600 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. So I use this to check all of my analytics, respond to comments, all that kind of stuff. PicsArt is what I use to doodle on the thumbnail, so I like to like outline a lot of things on my thumbnails, and this is what I'll use for that. Phonto is what I do to add text to my thumbnails. I think it's very easy to use. I think I paid like $3 for like the full version of Phonto so that I could like erase font and stuff. I think it's worth it. And then Photo Booth, iMovie, they come with the iPad. I use iMovie on my laptop, but I haven't used it on here yet. And then Lightroom is what I will use to edit the lighting in the pictures. Facetune I don't use very often, but I'll use it if like my eyes look very dull in a thumbnail and I'll brighten them up. I like the same with my teeth. Or I have a very shiny face, so I will use Facetune to like dampen down the shininess or like erase things in the back. And then I have my monies folder. So this has my banking app, this has Etsy, which is where I got all of my digital planning stuff that you guys will see in a second. I have stocks, which I don't really know how to use yet because despite my econ teacher and my mother's best attempts, I still don't understand stocks, but I need to, so that's here. And then I have Uni Days. If you are a college student, you need Uni Days. If you don't know what it is, it's just a giant student discount website. So like every brand that you shop from, like ever basically, they have student discounts on Uni Days, and Uni Days is how you get those discounts. And they also have like bigger discounts for like streaming services, like the student version of everything. Save money every way you can. Download Uni Days. Then I have my mail folder. So I have a Gmail because again, I prefer the Google apps, the Apple apps. So I have Gmail, and then I have Outlook, which is for my school email. So I also like that it's separate. So I like that my school uses Outlook because then I can keep the two very separate. Alright, and then I have all of my streaming services and streaming apps. So you have HBO Max, Disney Plus, Apple Music, which I don't really use, but I didn't delete it. Prime Video, Podcasts, which again I don't really use because I listen to my podcast on Spotify. Apple TV, YouTube, Netflix, and Spotify. Spotify on the iPad is so fun. I think I just like how it looks better. I don't know why. Then next up, I have all the default apps that just like need to stay on here. So like
App Store, Home, Files, Contacts, Settings, Measure, Find My, App Store, Shortcuts, Apple Calendar, iTunes, Voice Memos, Translate, and Weather.
Just like all the apps I don't use but they have. Reminders should also be in that folder. I have a couple of games. So I have Happy Color, which is a tap to color app. This has been like my therapy lately. If you guys need to de-stress and you have an iPad, download Happy Color. It's so fun. Like, or any like tap to color app is just so therapeutic to me. And then going off of games again, I have Wordscapes, which is the like connect the words games. I don't know, these are the two games that I really like to play. And then my final app on my iPad is Zen Flip Clock, which is just that very aesthetic clock that you see all over the internet. And then they also have a Pomodoro method timer, which I really like because I do use the Pomodoro method to study. Alright, that concludes everything that is on the iPad itself. I'm going to take a 5-second break to drink some water, and then we will get into how I take my notes and how I use my iPad's digital plan. Alright, sorry, you guys can kind of see all like the scuff marks on my desk, but we're just going to ignore that for a second while we kind of go over how I plan on my iPad and a very rough basis of it. The only thing I forgot to mention when I was showing you guys kind of what's on my iPad and how I use it is all of my focus modes. So I have a bunch of different focus modes preset, and for my school one, I have it set so that second page on my iPad just doesn't exist anymore. It just only has all of my like school notes open, and I also have all my notifications off on this mode except for like I think my parents. So I would definitely recommend going in and changing some of your focus modes just to like set them like that. We're now in GoodNotes. I will have a separate notebook for every single class, but I haven't made any of those yet, so we're just going to use one of the like spare note sheets on my planner. This is the planner that I use. I will have it linked in the description too, but I absolutely love this planner. I've been using it for almost a month now, I want to say. You guys can see all of my classes are color coded, so they are each assigned to their own class color. So we are going to pretend, let's pretend we're taking mass comms notes just because I want to use purple today. Alright, editing Hannah here. I realized a couple things watching this back. One, I never like really went in depth onto how I plan my life, but basically what I was supposed to say was that I use the Etsy planner to do like my big monthly spreads and like a big like overview of my week or whatever, and then I will use Notion to do daily to-do lists, and then I also color code everything. So like all my work is in green, personals in purple, school stuff's in orange, that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is I'm still learning how to like make good notes look nice and look pretty. So I'm showing you guys how I take my notes and my note-taking process, but I'm still like learning how to like improve my handwriting while I write and like turn my handwriting into text and all that kind of stuff. So this is like a very rough basis of how I take my notes. Alright, and I'm sure the way I take notes is subject to change when I start college, but I've been taking my notes the same way since like sophomore year of high school, and it hasn't changed yet. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that really quick, and I think it works really well for me. I'm also a pretty notes kind of person, so if you don't like pretty notes, this video is not for you, but I will not look at my notes if I don't find them visually pleasing. Starting with the title of my notes, I like to use the little like zoom in button on here, and we are going to try our best to put that straight in the middle. Alright, so for my title, I just like to do it in like cursive, so I'm going to do mass comms. It says mass comms, and then again, because the pressure sensitivity does not work on here, and I do like to do my titles in calligraphy, oopsie, we'll go in and do like fake calligraphy on the letter, so I'll just extend it and color it in. Obviously in class I probably won't do this because I don't have time for that, but like afterwards when I'm reviewing my notes, I'll just like add a little something to make it pretty. So I'm gonna do that really quick. I like my title to be in the middle, and this isn't exactly in the middle yet, so what I'll do is I'll hit the lasso tool and I'm just gonna circle it, and then I can move it to wherever I please. So I think like, no, let's do like right there is good. And then mass comp is in purple, so I'm going to change my highlighter color to purple, and then that's a nice thing about GoodNotes. You can have any pen color, any highlighter color you want. So I like to go and find those TikToks that show you all the different hex codes you can have, and I'll just copy cute ones from there. Do a middle-sized highlighter is what I want right now. And I also like to do a cute little highlight along my title, so I'm going to press and then I'm going to hold so that it straightens out my highlight, and then do the same thing on the other side. So I have the title. Typically this would be like a big heading, like what the entire lecture, the entire slide is going to be called, so that's what it says. And then I have a heading for sections usually, so I will just go and write whatever the heading is, and I like to write it in all caps. And then for my headings, I'm also still learning how to like make my handwriting nicer and stuff on the iPad because I just got this. So I'm still playing around with it, and I will go to my highlighter tool again. And for my headings, I like to highlight it across the whole page just so that when I'm going back, like I'll know that this whole section is just for my heading. And then below that, say I need a subheading. So if I were to need a subheading, let's go find my black. There we go. If I were to need a subheading, I'm just going to zoom in this time. So I would write subheading in regular lettering. And depending on how I'm feeling that day for my subheadings, I do one of two things. I will either just do a straight across highlight that just covers the subheading, or I will do a box around it. So if I were going to do a box around it, I would hit my pencil tool, and then we would hit the shapes. This will make it so that whatever shape you draw is super crisp and clean. So I'm going to switch to my purple marker and just draw a very nice little box around it, and then you hold it and it straightens out your box for you. So I do my subheading one of those ways, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. And then for actual notes, I just do bullet points. So let's say this is a note. All right, now so there's an important vocabulary term on the screen I need to know. I will switch to the color of that subject. So vocab word, just so it stands out to me. And then I will go back to my black pen, and using my little arrow function, I will draw a little arrow. And then right here is where I would write the definition. There you go. And then that's just the basis of how I take my notes. So then I finish that section, say I need a new subheading, add another subheading down there, yada, yada, yada. All right, and on that note, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe, stick around. If you made it all the way to the end, comment down below the pencil emoji so I know you made it this far, and I will see you guys in the next one.